Going on tours is something that I wouldn't have considered follow events that happened before you. It's something that I don't like doing only because the amount of planning it has to do, the amount of saving, the amount of things that go wrong, and the amount of things that, just turn out to be is something that I don't want to deal with. So this was my first tour going, and it exactly went down how I thought it would. This winter, last year, I went to Scribble Showdown. What is Scribble Showdown? Well, it's an event that features popular YouTuber animators that include from Jaden from Jaden Animations, James from The Odd Ones Out, Doms from Domix, and Ross from Rubber Ross, being hosted by Ego Raptor from Game Grumps. Game Grumps. Sorry, I actually don't know what Game Grumps was. I actually don't watch Game Grumps. But anyways, they would do challenges that involve drawing and improv, and each challenge has several points that they win, and whoever has the most wins the event. So they were going around touring the states, and one was very close to me, relatively speaking. It was in Nashville, Tennessee, about 7 hours, close by. Thought that would be a fun trip to go there and experience my first Scribble Showdown. And let's just say there's a lot more to it than that. But being an aspiring animator YouTuber, it would be awesome to see people I look up to in person. Leading up to the trip, I noticed that they sent an email regarding the event. They requested that everyone needed a negative COVID test to be safe. Now that's no problem, until I realized it was Friday and the event was Sunday. Now, there's two types of tests, a diagnostic test, which the results come in a day or two, but that was risky and could be after the event, so the best choice was a rapid test. I went to get my oil changed before the appointment because there was a gap of time that I could use, and since it was a long trip, I needed that. While I was waiting and playing my game, the mechanic did tell me something important, although I wasn't very focused on that, since I was in my game. Sorry man, I can't afford to lose my crowns. Just fix it and bill me later. I did get the car fixed, got my oil changed, and I made it to my appointment. I was a bit worried there was a line, which there was, only because there was an old man in the front. They still accepted me and I got my COVID test done, and 2 hours later, I got the results. Negative, as always. So the day came, I said goodbye to my doggos and drove off early that day. Okay, it's a 7-hour drive, check-ins at 4, showtime's at 8. Let's do this. Now I did record myself each hour I took to get there. Now please note, don't ever do what I'm doing. I realized after hour 3 how stupid I was for recording when I was driving. Don't worry though. I'm a professional. So here we are, we're driving, we're cruising. I shouldn't be actually holding this. This is actually a bad idea. But as you can see, we are heading our way to Nashville to see Scribble Showdown. Pretty hype. It is 7 hours. I did not really calculate how far that would be, but I think we're doing fine. I just got off the house and we're driving there as we speak. Time is 9:01. I'll see how it goes so far. Alrighty, we're at like hour 1, I think. We are heading up our way. I can't try to focus the video because if I do, I might crash. But it's a 50-50 shot, 50-50. Coming in for Morganton and Rutherderton, whatever that second one is. I know what it means. Don't at me. We're already at 10:09, a little minutes before the hour, but we're doing fine. The roads were nice. Comparatively, I thought this would be a lot more harder, but it's not. So I'm the best. Yes. But yeah, we're coming across the mountains. I'm not sure if you saw that, but all you can see now is just trees beyond belief. And so, yeah, we made it, Tennessee. Oh shit. I'm a professional. Don't do what I do. We made it, Tennessee. We got it's now 11:36. We would have gone there. Oh, hold on, give me a second. Alrighty. So we would have gone there a little bit early. Turns out there's a lot of traffic in a very rocky and very small place. So, hold on. There you go. I'm not really good at holding one hand and driving in the other, especially when there's a lot of curves. So I'll keep this one short. We're now in Tennessee, baby. Let's go. How do I stop this? Hey. I'm On hour 3, halfway there. It's 12:30, 12:26. I'm actually at a stop. Come on, zoom in. I'm at a gas stop. I didn't put any gas because I'm just eating. Got myself some Subway, which there actually is one in here. It's in that sign, but that RV is blocking the way. Well, don't worry. But I didn't get it from there. I had an extra one when I came from Winston. Oops. But yeah. Yep. I got some. Now I got this one I can't think of words. Anyways, I got this from this sandwich from my work before I left, so I didn't get it from this store. I was gonna go in there until I realized it's actually a gas station mix, and those don't really work out for me because I hate those types of restaurants. And I was gonna try to see what the bathroom looks like, but that didn't work out. So, anyways, I am gonna be resting soon. I'll be driving off soon, and yeah, and then we'll make it to hour 4. So we got hour 5, I think. I think we're at 5. No, I already lost count. I'm a professional. Low Shack Adult Superstore. Oh yes, sir. Cookville. Nice. Anyways, we made it to 2:28. Traffic was really good throughout the other hour. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Nothing too exciting to report on that hour. But we are just one more hour away to go to the hotel and right next to the Scribble Showdown. Let's go. It's only some miles left in my car, but I think it can manage. Yeah. That's about it. See you in the last hour where I get to Nashville. Yes. And here we are, the 4th hour. Let's go, boys. It's already 1:29. We're doing good on time. We might get there before the time we can check in, so that'll be good. There's a lot of traffic down on Knoxville. I gotta say, Knoxville, you're pretty crazy. But yeah, saw this one person got in a traffic jam and the lane started going over like 2 miles. Pretty crazy. You're crazy, Knoxville. But yeah, look at that. Buttermilk Road. Nice. Yeah. Got you on the 5th hour. As I made my way through the mountain, a traffic formed as they were reconstructing a bridge. So they moved the traffic flow through one side. This caused a weekend kind of traffic during the noon, which it wasn't that much, just about like 15 to 20 minutes. It was annoying, but hopefully it wouldn't cause me a problem. Hint, foreshadow. When I was driving through Tennessee, I thought it wasn't that bad. And then we reached to Knoxville. Now, I did see a lot of Pilot and Subway buildings. It's a collaboration between the gas station Pilot and the Subway buildings. And though I did make my point that Subway bathrooms are pretty clean, note that I never said anything about collaborations. Those things are never good. Even bathrooms from the gas station. No bathroom at any gas station is any good. That's like F tier for me. So we're in our last hour. I had a good feeling. I had to refuel one last time before we get there. I did notice a few clouds were appearing, but I figured I was close enough, so I didn't think about it. At first it did drizzle, and then a light rain, and then... So yeah, it started raining pretty heavily on this part. I was still pretty fine myself. I didn't think much of it until... Now, remember when I said the mechanic was saying something to me when he was changing the oil? What he was saying is that, yeah, the tires doesn't seem to be good right now. You may want to be careful when it's slippery or wet, especially when you're driving too hard. You could hydroplane and lose control. And then I was in the middle of the road, and then it was raining as hard as it can. It was raining pretty badly that I couldn't see a lot in front of me. And I don't know the correct term, but my car was starting to skip over the rain, and that's never a good sign. I put my car to the left, which happens to be a carpool lane. I was actually kind of nervous to see if a cop will pull me over since I didn't have no one to carpool. But if I can't see anything, chances are they can't see anything either. Although it did seem pretty bad, I still had managed to get control of the car. That was one of the scariest moments of my life. knowing that my car could skip and having to change in a very wet environment is not ideal. Don't worry that I did fine. And then the weather finally calmed down after I reached the city, and there I was in Nashville. Now, my hotel was in downtown, so I was able to just walk by to the art center. But finding that hotel took me a lot longer than I would have. It took me about 20 minutes to go in between places, in between streets, and looking to see if I can spot the sign. And apparently, that hotel was hidden right in the corner of a pizza shop that was blocking the sign. Well, how am I supposed to know that? I looked at the clock and it said 4:20. But then I took out my phone and I saw it was 3:20. Apparently, what I didn't know is that Nashville is 1 hour behind North Carolina, and I didn't know this. So I was actually pretty happy I had more time to spare, and I can just check myself in early. So I checked in. It was a fancy hotel. They even have a valet and a whole gym. As much as I wanted to explore, I didn't really do much since I just wanted to relax after a nice drive. I just watched some TV, played on my Switch, and I looked online to see if there's any food on the cheap side to get. And after having a nice little Caesar dinner, it was now 7 o'clock, and then I made my way to the art center. Handed my results in, and they let me in. I saw a bunch of merchandise everywhere, and as much as I wanted one, I couldn't have enough money to buy one. I did see a lot of people with a lot of color hair. Not bad. A lady showed me my row, and I sat down. And when I purchased the tickets online, I did make sure I was in the middle of the auditorium. And I gotta say, it was pretty nice in there. I saw the stage with the tablets and screens, and I was really excited. But it was a little bit more than that. I'm gonna be a little bit real here. Being there before the show starts made me feel in a way I haven't felt in, well, it says months, but I'm pretty sure now it's gonna say years. And that was to be inspired. To see someone you look up to and someone who made you find passion in life and help you get through rough times. I saw the audience around me, mostly kids and teenagers with their parents, loving them for their content and personality. But for me, it did kind of feel kind of personal. Felt as seeing a hero who inspired me, made me feel like I can do it too, to be just like them. And then the event started. Now I did want to add something here that I forgot to mention. First, Domix, one of the contestants, unfortunately couldn't make it. So he subbed in Imarichu. Now, I never seen Imarichu, but after the event, I'm on board on Imarichu. The event itself was amazing. Seeing James' funny jokes throughout the event was funny, and seeing Jaden's personality being so relatable was much better in real life. Ross, who I didn't watch either, made me laugh the most due to his ways of drawing. And Imarichu came with the most adorable things. So here's some of the challenges that were included that I think were pretty funny. Now there was a challenge where they had to draw a bird out of an outline they were given by their other contestants. And James made an outline of himself, of his character, and then gave it to Imarichu. And I was actually pretty surprised how Imarichu found a way to draw a bird like that. And then James with his Frankenstein version of the bird was his drawing. Pretty haunting. Imarichu drawing a party bus with all the crew and Egoraptor T-posing for dominance, while Ross, who was the contestant in that match, had made a party bus of a red dragon and only Egoraptor being hit by the bus, and then having a funeral in it. Press F for respects. Egoraptor was dabbing and then the crew drew him, and Jaden was the only one who drew it based on our view, which was pretty funny either way. The crew made it a perfect wedding with James doing nothing to the end, Ross was the timer scene, Jaden eating only cake, and I think Imarichu was just a flower girl. And then the Among Us reference, done by Ross. Oh, and also a Kirby one where the team drew Kirby eating Taylor Swift. And then came the very end, where the people had to draw a Mad Lib based on the request from the audience. And I got to say, it was very funny. There was one moment where Ross had to draw a person who was supposed to chase you, and the kid said his mom. And then when he drew her, he didn't draw the mom, but drew like what a scary mom would look like, which was actually pretty funny. And also he drew Michael from the Spy movies instead of Michael Myers. And then Jaden came out and copy pasted a motorcycle from the internet because she couldn't draw a motorcycle. In the end, it was one of the funniest videos I ever seen. Throughout the events, I was also thinking of things what I would draw and how they would go through. But I have to say their creativity is on another level, and a lot more funnier too. In the end, it was announced that Jaden was the winner. But I would actually make the case that Imarichu was the real winner. Throughout most of the challenges, I do think that Imarichu was the real winner, and I did think her party bus idea was amazing. But I do gotta admit, Jaden did came in close. And I like how James had a negative 1,000 score throughout the show and then ended up coming back on it. And then, just like that, the crew left the stage and the show was over. I sat there and looked for a while and I was speechless and happy. After I got to my room, I looked at that and I had a moment. I did have a blast. It was an event that I was glad to be able to see, and one that I would cherish and never forget for the rest of my life. But wait, there is more. It's not over yet because I have to tell you the rest of the story on how I got home. And my golly, was it something else. So there came the morning of the next day. I got up, got my things together, and planned out the rest of my trip. I did realize that my hotel did include free breakfast, so I made my way downstairs and asked for the free breakfast. They gave me a menu for it, and they said, alright, for meats you get one option, egg, sausage, or bacon, one side of either apple, pear, and one other fruit I forgot, and then the breast choice of a bagel or toast. It's a little little than I thought it would, but I was still excited for the bagel. So put in eggs, apple, and bagels. They told me, alright, just 10 minutes, and they'll bring it right up to you to your door. Cool. I waited for 10 minutes. Alright, it's fine. They're probably delayed. 15 more minutes. Probably busy. 20 more minutes. Alright. I took a shower, but I had no phone call or door knock. I did call up when I was dressed up, and I did ask them where my meal was. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Everyone was just ordering at the same time, and we only have one cook. We'll be out there in the next 10 minutes, okay? Bye. Okay. I mean, how long does it take to cook eggs? Everything else is already pre-cooked. You don't just simply cook apple, right? I made some coffee as I wait, since there was already one in the room, and I waited for another 10 minutes. Then I just packed everything up and went down to check out. And then, when I was checking out, I looked to my left, and you wouldn't believe what I saw. I saw a family of 6 eating their breakfast full of food. Their eggs, their fruits, and their bagels. Really? No bagels for me? What happened to my eggs? They only took 10 minutes, right? Oh, whatever. And then the guy had the audacity saying, how would you rate our service? I say 2 out of 10 for 2 eggs that I didn't get. And no bagel. So I left, filled up gas, and then I left Nashville. I do gotta say, Nashville is very pretty and do recommend it to see it for it looks. Now, half that trip was fine. I was making my way back where I came from. I went through Knoxville and went through traffic like ease. And then after a while, I did notice something was different. Now, the phone did say 3 hours, and it did seem like it was the right place to go. But I started noticing that the mountains were starting to appear on my right instead of the center, which it was like that when I got through. And then after a while, the whole scenery started looking a little different. Now, I didn't question anything until the GPS told me, welcome to Virginia. Wait, what? So yes. Now, remember that part of the video where I said traffic would stretch for a mile because of reconstruction of the bridge? Well, apparently, because of that, the traffic from a normal Monday rush made it a lot more worse than it appears. So the GPS thought it would be fine to switch me from that portion to the portion that goes to Virginia and down North Carolina. Now, I wouldn't mind this, but it did put more miles on the car, and I did not have a lot of money left to put gas in it. So you can see how I was a little bit nervous to see my car having low gas at the end of the trip. So instead of Asheville, they sent me to Bristol, to Whiteville, down to 52. Right, it's okay, I'm a good driver. But then something changed that situation, because after the sun went down, it became dark, and for some reason in that highway, it was a whole different scenery. I was anxious, I was nervous, I don't know how, but I started gripping my hands with 2 hands, which I normally don't do. I mean, only because I know how to drive. I know how to drive with 1 hand regularly. But anyways, I was gripping onto it a little harder than I needed to, and it was just so weird because I never had that. And then it became even worse, because going down 52, we started going through mountains again. And let me tell you, going through mountains on a night is something I don't recommend, especially when you're scared of heights. I swear, I was one point looking at my left, and I saw a city from the distance, and then I saw to my right, and just saw a big wall of rock, and I was pretty nervous. And then the worst thing even happened there. My phone died. Now, I had this thing hooked on with the maps and music at the same time, and I didn't have my charging set up to help my phone. In the last 30 minutes, I was just hoping I was in the right road, heading out the right place. And then I saw it. Your town will be in a few miles. Awesome. And just like that, I drove in familiar grounds, and I knew my way back to my house. Man, what an adventure. I'm sure someone probably got a crazy adventure from Scribble Showdown. Wouldn't be surprised if a family went through all these events and had even wilder stories. But for my first time alone road trip, I'll say this is one for the books. I said it before and I'll say it again. The journey to and from Scribble Showdown is one that was worth the trouble, and nothing will ever make me regret that. To see James running in person, relate more to Jaden, and have fun with Ross and adore Emerychu's drawings was something that made me happy. And it made me happy about what I chose to do and pursue.